All right, we are live right now with All Is Amazing. Welcome back to the show. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you guys are well. Today we've got a really special guest with us, Paulius from All Is Amazing. Let's bring him on. Hello, my friend. How
Hello.
are you?
Hello. Good. Just washed my hands just in case, just to be safe.
Paulius is our brother from another mother. He is all the way in Malaysia right now, under lockdown as well, just like us in Singapore. And today we're gonna have a chat with him to find out how he's coping with the whole coronavirus situation. Find out more about his business. Find out more about how he has built up his empire of amazing photographers. And at the same time, we'll be here to answer all of your questions. And yeah, all your questions, please post them on our Facebook page. We are more than happy to help you answer them. Paulius, why don't you give yourself an introduction, my friend?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So first of all, thank you, Afiq, and the whole Colossal team for having me here on your chat. And for those who are watching on my live stream, I don't know if Instagram is live, but those who are watching on Facebook, I just want to introduce Afiq. Afiq is the founder of the Colossal Empire in Singapore, which is a photography company that branched out to nightlife, pro photography, and also weddings. So basically, as far as I know, there are no more photographers in Singapore that don't work with Afiq. And those who don't work, they're all in Malaysia right now. So basically, he's the brain and he's the mastermind of the biggest photographers collective called Colossal Photos in the whole Singapore. We've known each other for many years, I think since 2014, if I'm not mistaken, which is 6 years already. And the beautiful thing about our friendship that we always inspire each other, we always support each other, we always share insights in business and creativity. We elevate each other, and we do exchanges during the music festivals and events when they do happen in Singapore and Malaysia. So, as Afiq said very correctly, we are just the brothers from another mothers. So, have you fixed our Instagram, or Instagram is not working?
I am still fixing it, but
so I can keep on talking. I can keep on talking while you're fixing. Okay, so
we'll jump straight into the questions, Paul, if that's okay.
Yeah, it's totally fine. No time to waste.
We have a long list of questions, and of course, we don't want to have a 2-hour live stream. Let's keep it to 60 minutes,
or maybe 3 hours.
3 hours is fine as well. For those of you on Facebook, you can just comment on the video, and we'll see it over here, and we'll bring it up. We see all our friends and all our team members are starting to come online. We've got Ashok. Hello, Ashok. We got
Hello,
Nasri.
Dato. Hello, Tansri.
Nasrul. Anwar is here.
Hello, Singapore. Hello, Malaysia.
Hello, Malaysia. All right, let's jump into the first question.
Yeah, so it's a very important question, and I just want to ask all the Singapore right now before we go into the serious business. Where is the best nasi lemak in Singapore?
The best nasi lemak in Singapore is called this place called Boon Lay Nasi Lemak. I think this is a huge argument, Paul. I don't think I want to bring this up, but I personally feel that Boon Lay Nasi Lemak is one of the best ones I've ever tasted. Where is the best nasi kanda in Malaysia?
Best nasi kanda in Malaysia, no, is in Penang, as far as I know. But I will tell you after the show is over. I will tell you what is the best nasi lemak in Singapore. Okay.
All right, sure.
So though, if you guys want to know, stay till the end of the broadcast.
Okay, Paul, we've got a first question for you. This is from the Colossal team. What has the All Is Amazing team been up to while they are being stuck in the quarantine for 6 weeks?
So some of us have been gaining weight. Some of us have been losing weight. I guess that's the most obvious physical change that we have. But on a serious note, we have been busy, which is a good thing. I think it's really a blessing for all of us. I will just list down the things we were doing out of my mind. So first of all, we developed a rhythm of the day where every day at 11 o'clock we do have a team call, and everyone briefs each other on what they're doing, who needs the help with what, and who has been doing what things for the team and for the benefit of the company. So I found it very helpful because nobody has an excuse to be late right now, you know, because there are no traffic jams. There is only that much distance from your bed to your computer or to your screen. But in terms of business, so of course, same as for you, all our businesses have stopped because our business is directly dependent on the people's gathering and people's communication and the contact. So since we don't have the events to shoot and concerts and the studio photo shoots, we've been working on several things, which first of all is, I believe in a diversification of your income. And because we have so many photos that we photographed in our archives and they haven't been used, we started uploading those photos to Shutterstock and we started selling them as a stock photos. So those evergreen photos. I believe in the long run, it's going to be very good source of income. It's not going to be, of course, the main income, but it's always good income on the side just to buy a coffee for the team or to have a photographer's meeting and pay for the drinks for everyone. So that's one thing. Second thing, we have been doing this promotion for the portrait photography, corporate photography, influencer campaign photography, where we pre-sell packages that are way cheaper. I would say more than 50% cheaper right now if you book them now before the 30th of April and use them after the lockdown is over. So that has been doing really greatly, and I'm very happy with my team executing everything perfectly. And I think we have already around 10 bookings confirmed for the lockdown period. When it's over, we're going to do that. So that's number 2 thing we've been doing. Number 3 thing we've been doing, we were having an awesome parties online where we play games like Cards Against Humanity and just having drinks and celebrating birthday parties. And talking about that, today is one of our teammates, Daddy's 30th birthday. So for all the guys that are watching there, happy birthday to Daddy. All the guys can send him messages. All the girls can send him photos because he's still single. So shout out to Daddy Andrianto. So yeah, so that will be the short and I think the most relevant summary of what the team has been up to. So 3 things. We developed the routine, which I think is very helpful for everyone. We are developing the side source of income, which is a stock photography, and we've been doing the promo packages for the studio photography that can be done after the lockdown is over. Yeah. What about you guys? What Colossal team has been up to, and what do you guys keep yourself busy with?
Yeah. So over here, the restrictions have caused all our events to stop completely, and we've been forced to work from home. So right now, our corporate events and our nightlife events obviously are shut down. But for weddings, we still have our editing backlog to complete. We still are trying to finish up all the clients that have not received their images physically and digitally. And at the same time, what we're trying to do is keep the motivation alive, just constantly checking on the team. And what we've been doing is actually having tutorials and workshops. Right now, the Colossal team is learning how to shoot video. So we do live stream and we stream it live, the lessons that we have online to the public as well. And then there are assignments that you can do. And then we have a showcase every Sunday where we go through everybody's assignments, see the reactions from everyone and get critique. So it's been fun. But of course,
nice.
For both of us, it's just tough because revenue streams are cut. We have to be creative about what we do. So that's what we've been doing.
Oh, okay, that's good. Okay, but the whole team is still strong, right? And everyone is supporting each other, and the team spirit is still there. Is it?
Yeah, correct. So it's the team is still strong. That's very important, that the team must remain strong. Whatever we can do to support each other, we are doing our best to do that.
Nice. Cool. Okay. Any more questions you have on your side?
Let me bring up someone. Another question.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good.
Nice. This is a photography question. What is your routine before a big shoot? Festivals, fashion photography, monocle shoot, shooting somebody like Mahathir. What is your do you have a routine? Do you do something?
I think okay, it's a very good question. Let's split it like this. The routine before the big festival, the routine before we shoot someone like president, and then routine before the normal event. So maybe we talk about the normal event because it's the easiest one to answer. So before the normal event, I think that the number one thing you have to do is to go through the brief very thoroughly and ask client the questions if you do have any. So you are on the same page as the client, and the client can leave all the photography to you without worrying, whether you got the shot or not. So you go through the brief thoroughly, you ask the client questions, and if everything is good, you brief the team, and the team is good to go. Now the big festivals. The big festivals are way more complicated than just the event photo shoot, because there are so many moving parts and there are so many requests. Whereas like at the event, you just have one client who needs something from you. You know the brief, you deliver. But for the big festival, there are so many clients and so many parts moving, and you have to make sure that everyone is satisfied with that. So for example, I'll tell you what parts are there, right? So that can be the client that needs the coverage of all the sponsors. There can be the client that needs a coverage of all the music venues and stages. There is a client that needs a coverage of behind the scenes. There is a client that needs a coverage of let's say meet and greet. So it's very important to find out what requests are there, when they're gonna happen, the activities that you need photographed. Again, brief the team thoroughly. So this is the one thing that we've been doing in such a huge scale events when we have a huge team of photographers. We assign a certain role to the photographer and give them a list of what needs to be photographed from their side. And in order for them not to forget what needs to deliver, besides giving them the lanyards with accreditation, on another side of the lanyard, we do write down the list of the photos that they need to deliver, and also the times when they need to bring those photos to the photo editing station. So that's the thing that really worked for us greatly during the past music festivals. And now moving on into the photo shoots of the big bosses like presidents, right?
Yeah.
I've been privileged and I've been lucky in my life to photograph quite a few of them. And first thing I want to say, they're all human beings, just like you and I or our colleagues. So there is nothing to be afraid of them. The thing that you don't know if you haven't done that before is, which helped me greatly once I realized that thing, is that the photo shoot you're going to be doing of them is a part of their daily schedule. It's scheduled there. It's like just another meeting for them. So they are mentally prepared for that. They know what's going to happen, and they will do their best within the time limit that you are given. So if that helps someone who in the future going to do that, keep that in mind, that they're just going to go according to their schedule. And the photography will be like, let's say, from 1:20 to 1:45, and they will be all yours. Mentally, they will be prepared to do the best that they can to be photographed. You as a photographer have to do a tremendous amount of work in order to make sure that you put them at ease, because you will not have a second chance to photograph them. It's not that simple, you know. And the homework usually I do myself is I read a lot of articles where there are interviews with them, and I try to get some bits and pieces of information that will help me to put them at ease or make them laugh. or will help me to set up the photo. So one of the examples I can tell you, when I was preparing to photograph Bapak Jokowi, the president of Indonesia, I was thinking, how can I put the setup? And I started reading about his past and the background, and I found out that he was studying in Yogyakarta in Central Java, and his major in Gadjah Mada University was forestry. So I was like, why don't we just do the portrait of him among the trees? Because we can link that to his past. It will tell a story, and I believe it will put him at ease, because if he studied that, he definitely likes the subject or he's familiar with it. And it did work. It did work at the end, So that's when you prepare as a photographer to meet them. Then there is another moving part in a situation when there is an interviewer, the journalist. So you have to be very, very aware of how interview is going, what questions the interviewer is asking, because every answer that the president or prime minister will give to them might be a new idea for your photo shoot a few minutes later on. That's number one thing. Number two thing, you have to help them. You have to always be a team member in this combination of interviewer and a photographer when it comes to such important people, photographing and interviewing them, because you cannot just be there like, oh, okay, we have to cut the interview because it's my time to take photo. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to help them to get the best interview, because later on they're going to help you to get the best portrait, whether they will hold your light or whether they will push the people from the background, they will be there to help you. So same for you, you have to be there to help them to get the best interview. So yeah, be aware of those things. So do your background check on the person you're photographing. Remember that it's a part of their schedule, and don't be afraid or stressed. And third, be a team member together with the journalist, because it will help you greatly, and it will help them, and it will build a good relationship between you two.
Thanks.
That will be my answer to you. Okay, Afiq, do you want to answer the same question, or I can ask you on my?
Yeah, you can ask me a question from your team. You have a question?
Yeah, so my team also asked a few questions for you, and this question I find really interesting. Meng asked this one: if you had one opportunity to start your business again, what would be one thing you would change?
Okay, that's a really good question.
I think so too.
I think, yeah, that's a great question.
And I think yeah, okay.
Yeah, one thing I would change is to immediately from the start just make sure that we are clear on the goals, the vision, and the mission of the company. If you're starting a company, you're starting a business, right from the get-go, you need to be clear of what you're trying to achieve. If things are still unclear, you don't know why you're starting a company, you don't know what you're trying to achieve, you can't see the goal, you can't see the peak of the mountain, then you're going to get jaded easily, you're going to get tired easily. Your failures and your mistakes will turn into really huge obstacles that you will tend to just want to give up if you don't have a clear mission and vision. So if there was one thing that I did, if I wanted to do something different, it would definitely be that. What about you, Paul?
That's a very good answer, and I think I'm exactly on the same page with you on this. It's you have to see the end goal. It might not be the final goal, but you have to see the goal towards which you want to go to. Because if you just make a company for the sake of making a company without knowing what's the best interest for you and for your team in there, then it's not going to last very long. You have to have a vision, as you said, and you have to have a strategy how to reach that vision. Only then you can motivate the people that are already in your team, and you can attract like-minded people to join it and to offer them something. Because, besides the creative freedom that photographers can have in our teams, and besides the financial rewards, the most important thing on top of everything is the reason why we're doing this. What's in there for us? Like, why should I wake up tomorrow morning and start doing it over again and better and better? Is it the financial reward? There is always a ceiling for financial reward. Is it the love for work you do? Yes, it is. But if you do the same thing over and over again, the love will vanish. So you always have to keep yourself fresh. And I believe it's our goal as leaders of the teams to give that vision, to give that mission, and to ignite that spark every day in a team. The only thing that we can't do for our team members is to keep their fire burning. We can ignite the spark, we can make them excited, but they have to do the job. That's one thing which I find to be very important in a team, is that you can't spoon feed the team. You can put the food on the table, but they have to eat themselves. You can ignite the spark, but they have to keep the fire burning. And only then the team will be strong and will keep on going and will grow or shrink. It really doesn't matter, but as long as the creative execution will be better than it was yesterday, then you're on the right path. That would be that would be my.
Great. I have another question here.
Yeah.
More lifestyle. Okay. How do you unwind or distress yourself to recharge and recover from all your stresses or the pressures of the business?
So good question. I don't know. For me, now it's the best time probably in the whole career, where I'm catching up on all the rest that I never have had since, I don't know, was 19 probably when I started working properly. But one thing I noticed in myself is that if I just take weekend getaways from the environment I'm very familiar with, let's say my home, and I go somewhere, whether it's in nature or whether it's a small road trip where it's just another side of the town, it refreshes me, and my brain sees the new visual information. It makes the brain excited, and I feel inspired again, regardless of how much inspiration is there. But seeing something new, experiencing something new, helps me grow a little bit, And I think that will be it. It's just a change of the environment, change of the environment, which will lead to the change of the pace, which will lead to the change of your visual field, which for us is very important, and it will stimulate, some new creativity in you again. So that will be mine. What about you? Do you ever rest, or do you ever sleep? What was the longest amount of hours you've ever slept?
No, I sleep well now. At the start it's normal if you would put in extra hours, and not sleep, because that's what is required at the start of a business, and usually that lasts for many years until you come to a point where you're comfortable with, letting go of some responsibilities, letting go of some roles, and then you use the time for yourself. What I believe is you need to invest in yourself. For me, when it comes to unwinding and de-stressing, I like to consume a lot of informational, educational, self-help, motivational content. How people are doing things. I like to see things from another person's perspective, how they are coping with the stresses of life, the methods that they use, the habits that they have. And I like to experiment with all this.
Anyone you want to mention here? So maybe for the people watching will be useful to see what inspires you.
Yeah, people like Timothy Ferris, people like Simon Sinek. I listen to Gary Vaynerchuk a lot. I listen to Tony Robbins a lot. These are people who, they have made it to a certain point in life, and I feel like the habits that they have, I like to find the similarities. And when I can find similarities, I try it out. Sometimes I don't succeed because it's difficult for me to keep a habit. But I try to see what works for me. What works for me is really if I have some personal time to myself, to not do anything, just relax with a book or with a journal that I just write my thoughts. Sometimes I don't even fill up the journal. Sometimes the journal gets filled, but it's important that I give just time to myself, because having a business means you're constantly interacting with people. Yeah, whether it's clients, whether it's employees, that's just the nature of the business. So it's important to give time to yourself.
Very true. Yeah. So I think it's you are more of into, learning from other people and doing the things they have already done and learning from that, which is really amazing. So it leads me to another question. I wanted to ask you, since you started running the team and you stopped you stopped being a solo photographer and you started running the team. Have you grown as a photographer, or have you grown as a business owner more, or it's equal? Like how do you find that balance? Because the business has to grow, your creativity has to grow as well. So personally,
Yeah.
you yourself, which part of you grew more, or they grew equally, and what do you think about this?
Well, for me, it's the answer to this question was unclear many years ago, but recently it has become pretty clear to me. I'm more a businessman than I am a photographer now. That's just because the passion for business, as the
Yeah.
years went by, it just started growing and growing, and I really love taking my creativity that I had in photography and putting it into my business. There are many things. Creativity can be applied to all aspects of life. You don't have to apply it just to one aspect, which is photography, right? You can apply it to how you structure your company, how you structure your finances, how you structure your branding, your marketing. And I've since shifted my focus to business, and I chose that one. But when you choose business, you got to be very aware and self-aware that you need to put people in place in the company that can handle the craft itself. So for a couple of years, definitely Colossal's craft, the quality of the craft, the creativity dropped a bit because there was nobody that was in that position that I was once in. But since then, I've put lead photographers, specialist photographers in those positions so that they can push the company creatively. Right? For you, I understand it's totally different, right, Paul?
Yeah. For me, it's the nature of the team is a bit different because we are all we are smaller in numbers than your team, and so the creativity is a huge part of my daily work as well. But I echo what you said as well, is that when you run the business, I think there'll be a certain time in your life where you have to choose whether you want to be a creative and let the business people do the business part of your company, or you want to be full onto business and let the creative people in your company do the creative stuff.
Yep.
So I think at the moment I'm on this crossroad right now, and I'm still debating with myself whether I want to venture more into creativity.
Yeah.
And let the business people do the business side, or whether I want to just like you, just realize that okay, my passion and my calling is a business, and I just fully on go restructuring the team, hiring certain people to put in a certain positions that can elevate the team and make our work even better and inspire other people to join the team and do the photography in a better way in KL. So yeah, so I'm very happy to hear from you that you found the answer in yourself, and that's the best for you. So since we're on this topic that you are into business right now, I have another question for you, which is working with clients, right?
Yeah.
I believe we all have clients that are extremely pleasant to work with, and clients that we wish we knew about them beforehand. So what is if there's one lesson you could tell me that you've learned from working with the clients, let's say, that haven't been easy for you, what that lesson would be?
Okay. This is an interesting one. I love difficult clients. Every single client is different. When I get like a difficult client, it that means that I'm activated to do my PR, my
Nice.
and exercise my training in terms of customer service and customer
Yeah.
experience. I don't do it alone. I have a team with me. So it's important that you keep level-headed. Number one. Number two is it's important that you always think about the client first. You know, the client is not always right, but the client is always your priority. You know, if sometimes they are not right because either you have not provided the decent or adequate amount of information to them so that they can understand how things work. Usually, if you feel they are wrong, it's because it's from misinformation or a misunderstanding. Just put the client first and be level-headed. There's no room when it comes to business where it needs to be personal and you need to have emotions in it. Everything needs to be objective.
Business is business, right?
Everything needs to be objective, but at the same time, you need to be compassionate also. You know, for example, let's say I'm having right now during the COVID-19 era that we are in now, and you have a wedding client that has to cancel their wedding because of all whatever's happening, and then but they're asking for their refund back. And that has been like a common thing here in Singapore. Like a lot of couples are panicking. So you have to understand, okay, if you were in that position, you will be panicking as well, you know? Like you book so many vendors, you place a deposit, it's non-refundable, and you're trying to get it back. So what we do is we give them a call or an email, we talk to them and say, okay, look, here are our solutions for you. You can convert the 30% deposit into a different package. We have postponement policies that allow you to postpone until 2021 without any charges. But first of all, what you need to do is hear them out and understand why they are canceling just be human. You need to be human. If you're not human, then the more they feel like they want to lose their shit at you and get angry at you.
Exactly. You know I think those that get angry and lose their heads usually have personal problems first, right? You know, on my side, if I were to answer this question, to add on top of everything what you said, is just be human, you know, and understand the situation, put the client first. One more thing, in a practical way, what I would do, I would just have a very strong contract that will protect my rights, and where I will put all my previous experience from working with other clients in there and try to predict what might happen and how can I protect my own sanity, my team's integrity, and the client themselves, you know? Yeah, so I think that having a contract it's very, very important, where you state what will be delivered and what will be reward for that.
Yeah, I totally agree. We've got another question here from How do you guys as leaders prevent conflict in the workplace? I'm sure not everyone sees eye to eye with you all the time. Nobody sees eye to eye with me at any time. There's always a conflict. You cannot avoid or prevent conflict. Conflicts are going to happen. It's how you deal with conflict that is most important, especially if you are in a position of leadership. Dealing with conflict shows your true character and your true authority, compassion, and empathy that you have as a leader. It really puts you to the test. What you have to be doing, just like how we handle clients, you need to be more empathetic. You need to be more compassionate, especially when it comes to your employees. You know, employees are always above my clients. That's my opinion. I don't know about yours, but my employees are always above my clients. I always make sure that they are taken care of. All their needs, all their wants, all their problems are well taken care of. And you know, over the years, one thing that has been happening for us is, you know, every year there seems to be a time where everybody feels a bit stressed out, and then things start to snowball. And if we don't communicate, then it will get really bad. So what we do is instead of just waiting until the end of the year before things get really bad and people start, you know, throwing tantrums and stuff like that, we now have a mandatory talk every month, individual talk with all the full-timers. Just talk. I think I spoke to you about this before, Paul. I was having trouble with this. But it's important that you speak to everybody just to make sure that not only do they know how the business is doing, you also have the chance to find out how they are doing personally, and at the same time, how are they coping with work. So you know
So
how
you
to delegate your work.
so
Yep.
you yourself have a one-to-one talk to them every Monday. That's what you say.
Every month, not every Monday.
Oh, every
Every
month.
Monday,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
every month once. Out of the office, and we do it. We do it in a nice setting. We have coffee
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
have lunch together. Just a chat. It's important that you do that.
Yeah.
And these are lessons that
Yeah.
you don't expect to learn at the start. You learn
Mhm.
this by making all the mistakes along the way.
Yeah.
But once you make the mistake, you know how to grow and you know how to get back up. Then, yeah, you'll start to see a change, a positive change in your team. How do you handle it, Pop?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually really lucky to have colleagues, the team members that non-conflictive personalities, I would say. So we actually all pretty chill, and there is no drama, I think, because we all understand that professionalism and professional work ethics is before the emotions. That's number one. Number two, I really trust them to do the best job they can, so I don't intervene into whatever they are doing while they're doing that. Because I can tell you one lesson I've learned,
Yep.
also by reflecting on to my behavior during these. We do it every month and a half. You're doing it every month. We do it every month and a half with the team members during these interviews. So I asked them to reflect on my behavior during the shoots, and I got the feedback, and the feedback was that I do intervene too much in the process while it's happening.
Mm.
And I reflected on that, and I thought, like, okay, why I'm doing that? Why is it happening? Is it like a trust issue? Is it because I can see how it can be done better, and I don't see it happening, and then I intervene? And I found the answer in myself, and the answer was very simple. It's just that, it's like going to the battle, going to every shoot. You have to prepare as much as you can before the shoot or before the battle. And once the battle or the shoot begins, then it just leave it up to everyone to do their best and don't intervene. And if you see that someone is not doing their best or someone is making mistakes, then it's your fault as a leader, because you didn't do your homework and you didn't prepare them, or you didn't prepare for this situation to happen. So in order to go and intervene during the shoot, and try to fix things and maybe ruining them even more, what you have to do as a leader, you have to prepare for it really, really well. And when it's actually happening, just let it go. Just let it go, and have a trust and belief in the team that they're doing the best they can with your guidance, which you have given to them before the shoot.
Mm.
Yeah, so that will be my answer to the question, which I forgot what was the question about.
Okay, we've got another question here. It says, do you look for like-minded personalities to be in your team, or do you prefer to throw different personalities into the All Is Amazing pot and capitalize on that?
Good question. I did not, when I began, I did not care. It was just, as long as you like photography and you want to do something together, go on board. Now, after being in this business for quite a while, I did realize that the chemistry is very important in a team, because it helps the whole team, and it helps yourself, and it helps other members. And the qualities I usually look in the people are the ones that, first of all, are they creative? Can they think out of the box? Secondly, are they hardworking? Because I don't like people who slack and who are lazy and who avoid responsibilities and lie and don't show up on time. I just can't stand that. And the third thing, I do look into how will they gel with the remaining team members. Because we cannot just hire someone who is incredibly talented and hardworking, but cannot work with the team together. That's not what I want. I want the team to be strong. I want the team to get along with each other. I want the team to be extremely professional. And why I do keep the team very tight is because, knock the wood, if there is an emergency and one of us needs to be replaced by another photographer, I have a full confidence that the quality and execution will be top notch, and I would say 95% the same as it would have been anyone else in the team. So yes, I do look for the people that I will love to hang out with, and that will inspire me. It will inspire a team, will be hardworking, and will be creative. That will be my answer. What about you? Do you care, or you just like whatever goes? Which I don't believe.
No, man, I like to have a mix of personalities, a mix of talent, a mix of backgrounds for my people. You know, the only thing that we look for is that, you know, just like you, we make sure that they have chemistry with the entire team. We have 32 people on the team now, and each and every single one of them, or most of them, about 28 of them went through the exact same process that everybody else gone through, you know, which is interviews, portfolio, academy for 3 months, then they get onto the team. And this is all based on personality. It's not based on your photos at all. You know, your photos can be amazing, but if you don't have chemistry with the team, you can't work in a team, then you know, we just don't see that you can be part of the team, because you're going to destroy that dynamic that you've built, and you won't be respecting everybody else on the team who have been helping you build that dynamic. So that's what we do. Yeah, that's what we just
so you said there are 32 of you and 28 went through the process. What about the remaining 4?
The remaining 4 is me, so I didn't have to go to the process. Harold, Tsewe, and Unku. Yeah, and then, like, you know, they don't have to go through because they were there at the start. So we had no training. We, you know, 8 years ago, we just tried to do what we could.
So they're very lucky, no?
Very lucky. The rest had to go through the training.
Yeah, that's good. Look, I want to ask you a question right now on my side, which was asked by Meng. He asked, if you have 1 million Singapore dollars, no strings attached, but you have to spend it on your company and you spend it within a month, what would you do with it? That's a damn good question.
I saw this question. The first thing I would do is I would take 500,000. I would take 500,000. I'm actually calculating 500,000 and divide it by 31, and I will give 15,000 to each of my members.
Okay.
The rest 500,000 will invest it straight into the company and build our academy and build our Colossal film site.
Nice.
And the remaining amount that we have goes into our reserves. And what we'll do with our reserves is, you know, in times like this where we really need that money to keep it going, that's what you need it for. We'll do that for the reserve. So yeah, number 1, I want to give back to my team because they've given so much to me, you know. So I'll divide it equally, 15,000 per person.
You give them as well a lot, you know. I think it goes both ways. Don't forget yourself, you know.
Yeah. But the thing is, when I give, I don't expect anything, you know. But when people give to me, I really appreciate it, and I value their sacrifice, whether it's time, whether it's effort, whether it's talent. And I just want to give back. And then number 2 is Colossal Academy, Colossal Films. Number 3 is savings. What about you?
Yeah, I just want to comment on one thing you said. The gratitude, I think, is a very good skill to have, when gratitude and appreciation to what other people do for you when you are in a leading position in a company. So that's a very, very good and very respectful skill or feature, the character feature you have. And now talking to money, I think it's pretty much the same. I would just not give my team money right away, just like that, 15,000 each or whatever. What I would do, actually, I would put into the fixed deposit account and will lock that amount for 1 year. And I will give that account under their name, so they can have that fixed deposit, 100,000 Sing dollars account, but they can't do anything with the money. They keep it, and the fixed deposit goes for 1 year, so they have a bit more profit. And during that 1 year, they have to think whether they want to cash out or want to keep it. It's up to them. But the money will be locked for 1 year, but it'll be theirs. Another part of the money, I would invest invest somewhere. I will not invest myself because I don't know how to do it, but I would hire a professional and invest it. And I would want the dividend to come back to the company where we can, have a bit of the cushion just in case the times like this will come. And and I would say that will be it. I would split it in two parts. In terms of business development, I will just use the money I invested for the business development. But it's two parts. So just one difference is that it's a fixed deposit account that they can't touch for 1 year, which is still under their name. It's still their money, but it has to appreciate in a deposit.
Yeah, I think what's similar here. It's I don't think neither of us are doing whatever we're doing now for money. You see. And money is not the driving factor for whatever we're doing. That's why I think we can have that chemistry for so long. We've been friends for I don't know how long, but I think because of this shared vision that things can be better through photography, not through money, is why we can connect so well.
And isn't it so amazing in life that we do what we love? We have the people around us that are on the same path, and we also make a living of that. How it's like so many times I hear photographers say like, wow, you can make a living out of photography. And I'm like, there is no better time, I think, in the human history to be a photographer than it is today. And the reason for that is being that we live in a extremely visual driven culture right now, where to consume a book or to consume an article, it's an effort. You have to spend the time, you have to focus your attention on that. Whereas to consume an image and to like it takes a fraction of the second, right? So this highly visually driven culture and society we live in is just feeding on those visuals. And you can look at it one way, whether it's a glass is half full or glass is half empty. I see it as like half full. I see it like completely full. I don't see it as like, oh, everyone can be a photographer right now. Like if you have an iPhone, you can take amazing pictures, which is great, because what it creates in a photography industry is this healthy competition where actually your talent and your photography skills start to matter. It's not anymore the gear you have, is your creative vision, So that's why I see it as the best time to be a photographer right now, because the demand is huge, and we are doing that. We are making a living out of that. We are enabling other people to live out of their passion as well. And what's not to like about it? What's not to be happy about it? Isn't it?
Totally.
Yeah. Okay. Another question. I have this one now a bit off photography. It's more from my side. Like, how important is to have another hobby for you besides the photography? And how is it important to have it? How does it affect your photography or your mindset or your business skills? And do you have one?
Do I have another hobby? I will tell you straight out that I do not have another hobby. Right? It's my life it's pretty simple. It's straightforward. It's colossal, and then
colossal,
I go to work.
Colossal.
I go to work, and then there's my family, and then there's my happiness, and that's it. This is a tree. I don't participate in any other hobbies or anything that like intensively or routinely. I do things that get my mind off business, or when I want to give myself time, like go karting. I go kart on my own
alone.
Alone, or sometimes with my wife. But other than that, I really don't have any hobbies. I know I'm really focused on my vision and my mission in life.
Which is amazing.
I just want to give back to people. I just want to empower people through photography and videography and whatever we are doing now. Colossal is that medium, and through Colossal, I'm, get to live my life the way I want to live my life. With a lot of financial freedom, a lot of freedom in itself. To do what I want to do when I want to do it, and I push that for my family and for my wife for them to, appreciate the fruits of my labor that I've put in over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh,
Do you have a
that's
hobby?
that's a huge respect to you on that. First of all, that you're living your vision full on, like 120% at a time, which is great. For me, actually, yeah, as Nasri has noticed, I saw in a comment somewhere, I I'm getting old and I really do like plants, which you can see a little bit behind me, because the I don't know, one of my close friends told me that you like plants because they keep you grounded, because you're always somewhere like out there in the clouds. Yeah, so I do like plants. I have my balcony, which probably most of you have seen already on Instagram, that I keep on posting, and with all my plants here thriving, some dying, then I'm replacing them with another ones. I think it's like taking care of the plants, like taking care of the people, my team members. Like sometimes you don't know what the hell they want, but you still have to make sure that they are thriving. So is it like too much of the water? Is it too little of the water? Is the sunshine enough for you? Should I turn off the aircon? Should I keep it on? Yeah, so it's like my bapak life, Nastri. I totally agree with you. Yeah, but besides that, I actually wanna wanna mention one project I've been working on and I still do work on, which also was a part of the questions from your team members, which is a photography project I'm doing. Is called Same Same.
Yeah.
Same project. So Same project, for those who don't know, it's a project where I photograph mixed race people, mixed race couples, and mixed race families. And the reason behind that is that I really find it fascinating how Malaysia and Singapore, the countries of this great human diversity, live in peace and harmony, and everyone just share their cultural differences. Everyone just celebrate each other's festivals. Everyone speak each other's languages. And I've never seen it. So the country I come from, Lithuania, is extremely beautiful and lovely country, but we don't have such a diversity as you do have and as Malaysia has. So for me, it was very curious to ask the people, what is it like to be with someone who is different, who grew up in a different cultural background? Or what is it like to come from the family where your parents, have different cultural backgrounds, and they prepare food in a different ways, and they celebrate different national festivals, different cultural festivals. Sorry. So that curiosity, I guess, it's a very, very, I would say, foreign base. Like, as I'm a foreigner, Matsale, Wailo in here. So that curiosity made me to do this project, and then actually it empowered and it contributed to my photography skills as well, as a professional photographer for the photo shoots I do commercially. Why? Because besides just photographing the people, I do also interview people, and I have to write the interview script, and I have to write the questions. So it also helps me to find out what questions do people respond to, what triggers their emotional feedback. So if I actually photograph people on assignments, like whether it's a president, or whether it's an employee of the company, or whether it's just someone I know, I already do have that experience, which came from the project I'm doing on a side, which was the same project.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. So I think we are already. Are we good with the time? What's the time?
Nearly at 1 hour. We'll do one last question.
Okay.
Since you are my guest, I let you choose the question. You have any last questions?
Let's see. What's the biggest lesson? What's the situation? What are we planning to do after the COVID? Let's see how can I corner you with the questions in here? Okay, so do you have, this question will be from me, and I got
this one. What do you think about this one? Share a story or experience that changed the way you saw photography.
Can also, but I want to ask you one question, which is very simple answer, and it's either yes or no. It's a binary, and then if it's a yes, you tell me who is that. Do you consult someone when it comes to running business? Like, do you go and you have a mentor who gives you advices, who not just watch on YouTube and absorb, but whom you can go and ask the question, you get the feedback, you appreciate their opinion, you value what they say, and it actually helps you to grow. Do you have that person? And if you do, who is that person?
Yeah, over the years, I've had many mentors. Right now, I have like a list of people that I speak to when I run into any trouble when it comes to business.
Yeah.
Fi is one of them. You are one of them. There are several entrepreneurs that I know in Singapore that I speak to as well.
Yeah.
On a regular basis. You need to be able to how I see it is quite simple. These people, most of them, in positions where you want to get to eventually, and they've made the mistakes along the way, and they can advise you if you are about to make a mistake.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course, I do have my mentors, and I do have I do watch several people online as well, and that's helped a lot. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, cool. Let's go back to the question you just posted now. What was it? What was it? Hey, Fadi, you asking how did we meet? How we met? We met physically in a music festival, Laneway. That's when we met physically, but we knew about each other and we've been in touch because Afiq reached out to me long time ago. Yeah, Fadi, that's the answer to you. How did we meet? We met online. Swipe left, swipe right. Here is Afiq. Here is Paul.
Was it Laneway or Future Music Fest?
No, we met at Laneway the first time in Singapore, but we knew about each other. That's why I approached you, because we already spoke online, because you were preparing for the festival. Was it Zookout, I think? And you asked me whether I want to be on a team or something like that. Yeah, never mind. Okay, what was the question you posted just before now? Share a story, experience that changed the way you saw or the way you see the photography. Do you have one?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, go on. You go first.
All right. Last question. I'll go first. So, do I have a story? I do. I think it was 2 years ago, a year ago, I shot a wedding with Shah Daniel, I remember. And we were shooting in this couple that I didn't know the background. And my first time meeting them. And then during the getting ready itself, the bride was telling me that her father was downstairs and that she wanted to see her father before she left. And then we went down together, and then inside the hotel room that she went in, there were all these oxygen tanks, and the father was basically on life support on her wedding day. And I was really shocked. I was really taken aback because I wasn't expecting that at all, and I got really emotional as I shot the interaction between the bride and her father.
Yeah.
And then at the church, it was very solemn. And the father arrived in an ambulance with medical officers supporting him, and he walked her down the aisle on his wheelchair with all the support that he needed.
Yeah.
And then we found out like a couple of weeks later he passed on. And when I found out that he passed on, I got really emotional, and I got really really emotional because the photos that I took meant a lot for her.
Yeah.
As a daughter, and I didn't know that I would have that kind of effect at all on somebody's life. And having experienced that changed my perception on wedding photography lah. It's not just documenting, just documenting a random thing. It is very meaningful to somebody. It's meaningful to the two of them. So yeah, that one changed me as a person forever.
How amazing, no? Like it's a sad story, but it's the same as a very beautiful story, because it shows the beauty of our craft is just to stop and immortalize the precious moments.
Yeah.
That we can even capture emotion inside the photos, that will live forever. That's why I really value these family time photo shoots, because these are the photos that will live on forever.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, these are the most. So my story actually is really really similar to yours. It's again same as you. It was a wedding.
Yep.
We were photographing wedding, which we don't do very often, and it was very stressful because we're not used to that, and it's just like so many people happening around. And there was this couple with the baby, and they asked to take a photo, and of course, we are there to take a photos of the people. So I said yes, absolutely, and in order just not to take a simple photo where the couple was standing, I framed them nicely in this little. Never mind, I framed them. And I took a photo. They were happy with the photo. I moved on, photographing, and so on and so forth. And delivered the photos. Everything was over. And maybe less than a year later, I did receive a message from one of the guests from the wedding that sadly the baby died. And those were the only professional photos they have had of the family. And the same was you. It's a very sad story, but it changed my view on photography forever. And not only on photography, also on the behavior of the people, because you never know when that moment that you're immortalizing with your camera is the most precious moment for the people. For us, it's just a click of the button and maybe set and a good composition and a good light. But for those people, that 1/200th of the second is the entire life, is the entire life for them. So the lesson I say we both learned in here, that you never know when that moment is the most precious, and you have the power to immortalize it. So don't neglect it. Always be friendly, always try to accommodate everyone as you can. And if you can't take the photo now, come back to them in a few minutes, take that photo, because you are the magician and you are stopping the time and you're creating the memories that will last with them forever.
Yeah, I agree. Like after that, the incident or that moment, I saw an immediate change in the way when I shoot weddings or when I shoot anything. Basically, like I put in 110% to make sure that it's a good shot. Everybody gets a good shot. I put in 110%, making sure that everyone gets a good shot, just in case.
Exactly. And just in case, and it's also, like, think about yourself when you are not playing a role of the photographer in life, and you're attending some, function, and there is a photographer, and you see photographer going around the people and taking photos of them, and you secretly, you're like, oh, will he or she come and take a photo of me or no? You sort of like, we as a photographers give a validation to the people that we acknowledge your presence, we acknowledge your being here, we acknowledge your beauty, and here we are to immortalize it. So I double on what you've said, is that you have to give that a little bit of attention to everyone, because for them it will last forever. For us it will be just a fraction of the second.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's when it turns into a really instead of a business, it humanizes everything and sets you in on a different perspective altogether.
And makes you appreciate your craft even more.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a nice way to end everything. Eh?
I think so too. But no, the nicer way to end it is on a positive note. If for those who haven't tuned in at the beginning of our conversation, I asked Afiq the question, where is the best nasi lemak in Singapore? And Afiq answered, it was where, Afiq?
It was it's Boon Lay nasi lemak, bro. Boon Lay nasi lemak.
Okay, Boon Lay nasi lemak. Great. So for those who stayed on, I promised that I will answer to you where I think is the best nasi lemak in Singapore. And with all my love to my Singaporean brothers and sisters, the best nasi lemak in Singapore is the one you bring from Malaysia. So next time, my team and I coming to visit you, we're going to bring you the best nasi lemak.
My friend, I look forward to the day you walk into Singapore. You can finally walk into Singapore, and we can finally go into KL, and then we can exchange nasi lemak and
Nasi lemak unity.
yeah.
Nasi
Yeah,
lemak
I miss
unity.
I miss doing that, and that took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting that, Paul. Well done.
Okay,
Well done.
sorry about that, but yeah, it's just one of the jokes Malaysians have about Singapore. But we love you with all our hearts and minds and everything else. So yeah, thanks Afiq for organizing this. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and thanks for watching us. Thanks for staying for 1 hour. I hope it wasn't too boring, and I hope it was insightful. Please follow Afiq and his team on Colossal Photos and Colossal Weddings, and Afiq Omar on Instagram. He is the best. It's very inspiring how his team and he himself operates, and insights he gives online. If you do have any questions, don't hesitate to send us messages on Facebook or Instagram, anywhere. We are more than happy to share with you all the knowledge we have and all the insights, because Afiq will agree with me. We do believe that the only way to grow is to make other people grow.
The only way to grow is together, my friend.
Exactly, and together with other people.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Afiq. Have a good evening.
I look forward to that. Nasi lemak. Stay safe. Stay home.
Yes, definitely. Wash your hands, everyone. Yes. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Okay. Bye-bye. Good night. Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.